Hey y'all, it's Shayla from Making Lemonade from Lemons, and today I was tagged in a collaboration by Misty from Mama Z's Texas Kitchen, and it's a collaboration that was begun by Crystal from Kettle Farms. And so today what I wanted to do is I wanted to answer those questions for you guys, and then I'm going to tag someone else at the end. So you have to listen all the way through to the end to see if you were tagged. Okay, so the first question is, what got you into homesteading? Okay. So a couple of people have kind of said similar things to what I'm about to say, and it's hard for me to label myself as a homesteader, although technically, I guess, according to what a lot of other people say, I am a homesteader. I'm just homesteading inside city limits, but to me, it's more of a lifestyle, and I say that because I'm just trying to carry on through the traditions that my mother and my grandmother passed on to me. Whenever I was young, I lived on a dirt road down, we were definitely in the country, and we lived right across a dirt road from my grandmother, and my aunt and uncle lived right across from them as well. And then down the road was my grandmother's sister and her husband, and then their kids were down there. So like the whole family lived down that road, and for the most part still do. There's only so much land on that road. It's okay, Bella. I don't know what she heard. Anyway, so they always raised a garden. They always preserved their food so that we had food for the winter. They always cooked from scratch. My dad hunted. They raised cows. The only thing that we didn't do is raise chickens, but my mom's aunt and uncle did that. So, I was raised around it, and I am really glad that I was. And for a while, I was doing other things because I was in the military for a while after I got out of college, because I went to college first. Tried to work for a few years, and work was difficult with just a bachelor's degree and no experience. So then I ended up going into the military. I spent time in the military, met my husband. Then I moved to Colorado for a little bit. And so when we got back here, that was one of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to really get back to my roots and really get back to living that lifestyle where we grew our own foods, and we knew what was in our foods, and that was part of it as well. Is that I think that, and I kind of addressed this in my last Butcher Box video, is that there's been a lot of illnesses in our society, especially Americans, and I think that a lot of that has to do with there has been a rise in autoimmune diseases and that kind of thing, and I think a lot of that has to do with chemicals that are in our foods that used to not be in our foods. And so I just wanted to try to eat cleaner foods and to know where my food came from and know that they were raised ethically and that kind of thing. So at this point, I don't have animals yet, but I'll get to that. Okay, so number 2, what is something you want to add to your homestead in 2020? What I would love to add to my homestead in 2020 is chickens. I have been wanting chickens for years and years. And I gave up on my dream of chickens for a while, partially because I just thought that it would never happen, and partially because of being sick. And just this last year, I started growing, because when we moved into city limits, I didn't know of a place where I could put a garden. And I couldn't think of what I could do in order to have chickens. In fact, at first I didn't think we could, but then I looked up some of the laws here inside our city, and we are allowed to have hens as long as they are kept off of other people's property and they are kept up neatly. So that's my plan, is to add chickens in the coming year, and possibly rabbits as well. I will probably start off just getting a couple of does in the beginning, just getting used to them, and then move into getting a buck and breeding them for meat. Okay, so number 3 is the most difficult lesson you have learned while homesteading. I think that the most difficult thing that I have learned while homesteading is that, I guess, probably to be patient and not give up when things seem like they're not going to happen for you, even though you've wanted them for so long. I think that's probably the most difficult thing that I have learned. Okay, so number 4, what is your favorite chore on the homestead? My favorite chore on the homestead is planting seeds and babying the seedlings. That's my absolute favorite chore. But really close to that is probably baking bread, because I think the reason that I like those two things is because even though they're very different, in a way they're very much the same. You're getting your hands busy, you're getting your hands in the soil, you're getting your hands in the dough, and it's very therapeutic. So I would say that those two things are probably my favorite things to do at this time. What is your favorite thing to grow? Oops, sorry baby. My dog is under my table. And I just kicked her. Oops. My favorite thing to grow is tomato plants. I love to grow tomatoes, but it's really hard to have just one because I enjoyed growing pretty much everything. The only thing that I didn't enjoy growing this year was rosemary, because I couldn't get it to grow, and watermelon radishes because I couldn't get them to grow. And that's frustrating because I don't, radishes are supposedly very easy to grow, and rosemary is a perennial here, so should be able to grow it, but I can't. So anyways, okay, so number 6, what do you love the most about the homesteading community? I just really joined the homesteading community. I have been watching videos for a little over a year in the homesteading community, And I began making videos in June and uploading them, and in that time I've met some absolutely wonderful people. And I think that one of the things that I really love about the homesteading community is that whenever people, whenever people seem to be in need, they really rally around those people and help them if they know that there's a real need. And I've seen it in several instances, and of course I also have met some absolutely amazing people, and so I'm really glad that being in the homesteading community has brought those people into my life. One of which is in my hometown, Dee from Naturally in C, which you can check out her channel. I'll put a link to any channel that I mention. I will put a link to in the description. So at Naturally in C, I met her. She's from my hometown and she works in my hometown. She doesn't live here anymore, but she works here, and so it's kind of funny that I had to go to Virginia to the Homesteaders of America to actually meet her. So it was kind of funny, but it's a small world. All right, so number 7, your favorite meal you make. That's a hard one because I love to cook, and I don't do a lot of cooking right now personally. I do, but I don't do as much of it as I would normally do because I'm trying to teach my children how to cook and help them to become better at cooking. So my kids actually rotate through cooking as a chore. So I go in and help them, but I don't necessarily cook as much myself anymore. But I love to cook steaks. I love to fry them in my cast iron and then finish them off with butter and rosemary and that kind of thing. So I love it. So I guess that would be my favorite. But I love to cook in general. I just don't do it as much of it as I want to. I do more baking than I do cooking. Okay, my favorite holiday is Christmas. It's the one coming up, and the reason that it's my favorite is that I love spending time with my kids and making memories with my kids, and just the whole experience. We do cookies and we do shopping and we make candy with my mom. And when we do the Christmas cookies for Santa, we always go to my mom's house, and my sister and I have our kids work together on the cookies and that kind of thing. So it's just a whole experience. I normally, here in the next week, I will be doing that. Make lots of different types of hot chocolate mixes. So like I make a vanilla one, I make well, it's really hot, it's really white chocolate. I have made a maple one, it's really good. I made cinnamon one, it was really good. So just various ones, but those types of experiences with my kids, we don't really have to spend a lot of money to make those memories, and it's something that I hope that they will carry on the traditions when they get older, but if not, at least fond memories for them. Okay, number 9 is basically a question about whether or not this is a permanent homestead, or if you're looking to start over again somewhere else. And I would have to say that I hope that at some point that we can move, but I don't know that that's going to happen. My husband and I both would like to have more land. My husband specifically wants cows, and as I grew up raising cows with my parents, my grandparents, and my parents who raised them together, I would love to have cows. But my thing right now is chickens. I just always wanted chickens. So he wants the cows more than I do, but I still would love them. And I would just like to have room for us to be able to go out and, you know, let my kids have plenty of room to play. And they're not going to be here that much longer. I have two that are in high school. Both of them are freshmen, even though their ages are different, because one of my kids moved up faster than the other one. And just because he could skip grades. So, but I would love to have a lot more land to be able to do things with, and to have a bigger garden. And so I guess that we'll just have to wait and see. And I'm not going to say it won't happen. So I will keep dreaming about that until that time, but I want to do as much as I can with what I have at the same time. And last but not least, what homesteaders do you follow and enjoy learning from? I watch lots of different channels, and I take a lot of information from each of those channels. And so this is a really difficult question, because I could never name each one, and I wouldn't want to slight anybody. I watch some people because of, you know, their gardening skills, and I watch other people because of their animals. And one of the ones that raises chickens, that one of the channels that I watch that does chickens that I love to watch, and she's so much fun, is Dahlia from Welcome to Chickenlandia. And so if you have chickens, you should check her out. She's a lot of fun. And you know, then I love watching VW Family Farms and the way that they talk about their cows and that kind of thing. And she's just got a wealth of knowledge anyways. You know, there's, of course, Roots and Refuge, the Stivers, of course. I love watching them. And they have off-grid, or you know, and I don't know that I could do off-grid exactly, but I could try. I don't have a problem with trying. Even with my limitations, I wouldn't have trouble trying. But anyways, so there's just lots, and like I said, you know, I just mentioned a few, and that is not to slight anybody, because, you know, there are so many people who I watch regular basis, and I love them dearly, and I don't want them to think that I don't. So it's just, I could never mention everybody that I would love to mention. And so for that reason, there was a lot of people that I wanted to mention that I didn't mention also, because I didn't want to slight anybody. So anyways, all right. So the people that I'm tagging, the first one is Sabrina from Searching Sabrina. And so I would love for you guys to check her channel out. Jessica from J Love Adventures, I am also tagging her, and I will put the link below. I'm also going to put the questions below so you guys can check that out. And then I'm hoping that Sean from No Dough Acres watches this, because I'm going to tag him as well. So anyways, thank you guys so much for listening, spending time with me, and thank you so much for all of the people who comment and all that kind of thing. It really makes me feel good that you guys do that. And you know, if you guys ever have any questions, if you guys ever need anything, just let me know and I will see what I can do. I'll get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. So anyways, thanks so much for spending time with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.